For those of you that have watched my journey thus far as a baby Tenno, all I have to say is, Corpus puzzles are the worst. I'm so sorry that you had to watch some of those live streams. But with that said, my experience with Warframe is one that I need to document on my journey as I go. It's an experience unlike no other. From the moment you boot up this game for the very first time, you become engrossed in the universe. I'm roughly a whopping 15 hours in at this point. I feel that it's important for me to document my experience as I journey through this universe in short bursts, so I can articulate and recall those smaller details which may fade in memory as more begins to happen. The introduction to this world and its characters has been remarkable. From the moment that I signed in the very first time, I was instantly pulled in by the music. It engulfs you, pulls you in like a magnet. I chose my first frame, Volt, and haven't looked back. It's been challenging, gut-wrenching, and humbling, all in my short time with this game. Warframe teaches the player to learn to slow down and do your very best to be methodical in your approach, or you can straight up button mash like I did, which just won't work out well.
Hey, I'm just trying to get you to slow the fuck down, okay?
The balancing act of various mechanics is complex, but you don't understand that complexity right away, or even acknowledge that this isn't like any game you have ever played. The first mission, Awakening, dropped me into a new environment, one consisting of low-level mobs and a strange voice coming from that of the infamous Vor. I steamrolled that first area while attempting to learn the basic traversal, combat, and miscellaneous mechanics. It makes sense for that first mission to be designed in that way, and I can honestly say that I had no idea what was next.
It's actually too easy.
My first step into my orbiter was surreal. I'd been transported from my gaming space to my very own ship in an instant. I looked around to take in the simplicity of the space, at least initially, only for multiple pods and segments of the ship to begin to open up as I progressed over my very short time with this game. I feel like I'm doing Warframe an injustice every time I say, quote, this game. Because it's more than that. Sure, you may say deep age rate, you're just in the honeymoon phase. It'll pass. You'll get bored. This type of comment will most likely come from someone who has never experienced Warframe, who just simply can't understand.
And I know you don't get it.
Tell that to the hundreds of Warframe veterans that I have personally interacted with, talked to, and joined up with via co-op. The thousands of hours they each have played is proof that Warframe was built to last. I have been stress tested multiple times already, especially with corpus puzzles. Do not use a controller for these. I repeat, do not.
It's fucking ridiculous, and I'm getting...
Moving on. Getting to Fortuna was spectacular. An amazing place filled with neon lights and a sense of somberness and despair. Nothing more beautiful. My first spy mission was a disaster. I failed due to not only a lack of experience, but because I naively thought I could just mindlessly destroy any objective in my way. And I was dead wrong. And I was humbled. I continued to fail 5 more times until finally it clicked.
Well, kid, you blew it.
I needed to be structured and intentional. My arsenal was weak, and my mods were not providing much help. But my intent could be that strength. Mind over matter. I proceeded to move through Vox Salaris with a new approach, from attempting to be mindful of my traversal, my melee and shooter mechanics, and most importantly, my abilities. This balancing act is tough, but fair. It makes the player feel like I am truly a baby Tenno, who is significantly improving. I was introduced to the business, to Neff, and to Thursby, aka Legs, via on-screen voice-acted dialogue transmissions. Yutiko, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, was also introduced and needed my help, so I agreed. The scene outside of Valas was nothing short of insane. The amount of enemies thrown at me was overwhelming, and once I completed that segment by retreating, I was actually out of breath. A few moments later, I had my own K-drive. It was amazing. I didn't even consider this would be a traversal feature in Warframe, but it was. Time to learn some Tony Hawk tricks. I met some interesting NPCs in Fortuna and then decided to leave for now. Now here is my defining moment where I went from engaged to close to near addicted. Fossa was now on the table. I entered this mission knowing that there was a major boss fight ahead. I was solo, no help from seasoned vets and friends. I breezed through the map, avoiding cameras and enemies. I only wanted one thing, to get to the Jackal. When we arrived at the terminal, it was time to summon this bad boy. He dropped down from above, appeared to be a souped up mech from Armored Core. But no, this wasn't a FromSoft game. This was a Corpus boss that has been thrown at me to overcome. To test me. Guns did nothing. It was a melee and traversal maneuvering act that needed to be adhered to. I repeatedly moved out of enemy fire, jumped over foot slams and AoE attacks, used abilities to run away from extremely damaging energy waves. Used my Parazon multiple times via Q2E events, and boom, I overcame the Jackal. My heart was racing and I was actually sweating. Such an incredible experience, as I feverishly tried to make it to extraction. I had done it on the first try, and by myself. I was proud. Then, I found out I need to farm this boss for my next Warframe to get other parts needed to build it. Still, not a problem. This was gaming at its finest, and I was truly happy playing. So in an effort to not bore the masses, I will end on this note. Are you ready? If you aren't good at puzzles in games, there is hope. There are options for you. Don't be like me. In all seriousness, Warframe after 15 hours is a game that I am hoping to call home. What I mean by that is, be engrossed in the universe, clearing star charts, immersing myself in the story, and most importantly, engaging with the community, because the people I have met are truly the best part of this experience. The corner of the gaming world where Warframe is located shines brightly, and it's all because of them. See you out there, Tenos. Thanks for watching.